I'm Heather Valgas at NMX in Las Vegas, and joining me is Eric Hitter from WordPress. Eric, thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
So everybody knows WordPress. It's been used not just for blogs, now it's being used for many different websites. Business entrepreneurs, large companies are using it. Why do you think it's grown so much and become so popular?
I think the biggest thing that started it off was the user-friendly nature of the interface. It's something that you don't need to spend a lot of time going through training classes or reading a lot about how to use. It's just something you get signed up, you get started, and it's pretty clear how to get your first content published out there. And that really draws a lot of people in because there's not a steep learning curve that some of the other competing platforms have.
Okay, and it seems like Google really loves WordPress.
They do. WordPress just sort of inherently does a lot of really great things for SEO optimization, and as a result, Google just really does tend to reflect well on it because it's easy for them to index the content and understand where that content fits in their indexes.
Okay, now the big buzz lately is mobile, and people are saying that in a few years almost everyone's going to be looking at blogs on their phone, not on the web. So what themes do you have that are optimized for mobile?
A lot of them now are starting from a mobile-first perspective. So all of the default themes that ship with WordPress, we just released WordPress 3.8 a few weeks ago, and it ships with the 2014 theme. That is a fully responsive theme. So it's going to look great on your tablet, your phone, your desktop. And that is for a lot of the themes, both that ship with WordPress and that other companies are releasing. They are starting off with that. So it's difficult, it's becoming more difficult rather, to find a theme that is not optimized for mobile in that way. It really, because that is the trend, the theme shops recognize this and they're building their themes with that intent. And the same thing goes now for WordPress core itself. With 3.8, the entire admin interface is responsive. So you can use it to make changes to your content, publish new content from your phone and your desktop, and you're using the same interface in both situations.
Okay, so what does a 2014 theme have that 2013 did not have?
So 2014 was built as a magazine-style theme. With 2013, it was a theme that was focused on blogging. The 2012 theme was built to be used more as a CMS. So each year they're choosing a slightly different focus, and because we bundle more than one year's theme with WordPress, when you install it now, you get a blog theme, a CMS theme, and now a magazine theme. So that's 2014 was built specifically geared towards magazines.
Okay, and magazine theme is something that's very appealing across the board because people tend to like it's a nice clean look, good for images,
Absolutely.
That sort of thing. Is that why you decided to do it?
Yeah, that was really the intent there. And again, because the two themes prior to that were not geared so much towards that, this is a theme that really does thrive with big, beautiful images in there. Includes a built-in slider for that sort of magazine style, getting all of your content or a lot of your content featured and in front of users. It was just sort of the direction they decided to go this year because it is such a contrast from the two prior years' themes.
Yeah, and how would it compare to a premium magazine theme?
So 2014 is actually based off of what was a premium theme we offered on WordPress.com. So was built to compete with those and has a lot of the features that you get with other premium themes. It has that featured content ability with sliders and things. And so really, the designers and the developers took a look at what other magazine themes were doing and tried to bring in some of those key features as well. So I'd say it stacks up fairly well.
Okay, so for online publishers who might be using a different platform and maybe considered WordPress but weren't really convinced that that's the way they should go, what would you say?
Switching over to WordPress it can be a really easy process. There are a lot of importers out there for bringing your content in from other services. There are companies that do this a lot and are out there to help move your content over. So it can be something that is daunting because you've got a business built around it, but there are so many companies and people out there within the WordPress community who are just really passionate about getting people onto WordPress. So certainly no shortage of people to help you make that transition over. And that's the biggest thing that puts people off, is they're just afraid that it's going to be a long, laborious process, very complex. And it can be, but there are so many companies out there to help ease that transition.
Okay, so what would you say the benefits of WordPress would be over something like either an old school HTML site where everything's just, .html for each page, or something like Joomla? What are the benefits of WordPress?
So compared to something like a static site where they're all HTML files, WordPress does a great job of separating your data from your presentation. So you write all of this content, and a few years on you want to redesign your site. You're not worried about losing your content because that is stored separately from the actual display of your site. Compared to something like a Joomla and like a Drupal, there are really two things. It's the ease of use, and it's the community behind it. With WordPress, there are WordCamps and meetups held monthly. The community is absolutely thriving, and that's part of what has led to it now powering 20% of the web, is that it is something that's accessible, it's easy for people to use, and there's no shortage of consultants out there to help you get started with it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Eric.
My pleasure. Thank you.